But I just want to get your position clear in my mind. So your explanation is that he was too low level or that he was too incompetent. What's your I don't understand.
Well, I wasn't in the meeting. All I can tell you is that
right. But Jeff Sessions, who was neither incompetent nor low level, had it got all the way to Jeff Sessions. This pitch, this idea that he would use his Russia context to put Donald Trump in a room with Vladimir.
I don't know if that's the way. I don't know if that's the way it was phrased. I was not in the meeting. I've read a lot of the.
Well, no one with Jeff Sessions is denying that Jeff Sessions nixed a meeting.
But what I have read in public reporting from many outlets is that his story has varied between setting up a meeting to establish better contacts. There have been discussions of dirt. There have been discussions of all of these things. We don't know what was actually pitched in the meeting to just say that I've had contact with somebody who would like to set up a meeting with Mr. Putin and Mr. Trump going forward. I don't know what was, but it was immediately killed. But no, because I was not in that meeting.
You don't know that it was immediately killed. You just said you weren't there. You don't.
No. But what was reported by the New York Times was that Jeff Sessions said, "We're not going to do that."
But you just said he was low level. I mean, by the time it got, would you agree that Jeff Sessions was pretty high level?
I'm saying that Jeff Sessions was high level.
And you said that George was pretty low level, right? So you don't know who it was bounced off of before it got to Jeff Sessions, do you?
No, what we're talking about was that meeting on the 31st,
right, but
which
you
is where
just
it was
asserted
reported.
that the first time it was bounced up, it was rejected. You don't know.
I don't know that.
Right.
What I was saying is that if it was brought up on the 31st, it was immediately shut down according to what the New York Times
Right, but you don't know
reported.
if that was the first time it was suggested.
Neither do you. No
or the
one does.
10th. Well, we know that Papadopoulos, we know Bob Mueller knows.
Yep.
Well, we don't know what Bob Mueller knows. We also know that so far there has been no evidence of any kind of collusion between the Trump campaign.
Why do you keep saying
Russia.
that? How do you know?
Has there been any evidence? Well, we were supposed to be dealing in news here.
Bob
Facts,
Mueller
not
is
speculation.
But why are you so eager to get ahead of Bob? Do you trust Bob Mueller?
I'm not going to make a judgment on Bob Mueller.
You don't know if you can trust Bob. He's the former FBI director after 9/11 who prevented a.
He will make his determination.
Yes or no? Do you trust Bob Mueller?
I would trust the process to play out the way it's meant to be played out.
Why
right now,
can't you say that you trust a former FBI director who worked for Republicans and Democrats and kept this country safe after the worst terror attacks on our soil? You can't say you trust Bob Mueller?
It's not my job to come here and say who
I hope they're
trust
paying
and
you a
don't
lot of
trust.
money. Eli Stokel's, what is sustained? Hey, Mark, I will call some friends over at Fox and try to get you a booking, but we're not going to peddle. That's not true. And all we're asking you, listen, we appreciate that you come here and speak on behalf of Donald Trump, but why can't you say that we don't know if, I mean, we know there was attempted collusion. If it's not a crime, why are you so defensive about it?
Well, I'm not being defensive.
You are madly defensive. You're about to jump through the camera and punch.
Well, when I get called being untrustworthy,
well, why can't you say that it's possible that collusion took place? It's probably going to end up that they tried and were incompetent colluders. But if it's not a crime, why are you guys? Why is it such a raw nerve for you guys?
Well, but here's the question. Here's the double standard. So you talk about these issues here, which you say amount to collusion, but the Hillary Clinton campaign and the Democratic National Committee go out and pay for this and peddle it, and that's just opposition research.
You don't know that we haven't covered that story. Ken Delaney is with us, and we have covered uranium.
But it's considered opposition research and brushed away.
I'll send an email over to friends at Fox, and you can peddle your propaganda there. A yes or no question. Are you aware of anybody, as anyone that covers the White House is, that is concerned of what George Papadopoulos may have shared since he pled guilty in July? Yes or no?
No.
Okay.
I'm not aware of anybody.
You're not aware of anybody that's concerned about what George Papadopoulos meant?
No.
And you're telling the truth? I mean, I've heard 4 people that are worried that this is a climb the ladder process. I mean, these are people that spoke privately and off the record.
Right now, all we have indictments that have nothing to do with the President of the United States and the White House.
I'm not asking about the President. I'm asking about your former colleagues, the staffers, the 6 names that were on Bob Mueller's list of people he wants to interview about a lie that was told, that was dictated by the President from aboard Air Force One. Have you not talked to anyone on that list this week?
That's a completely different question.
I asked you if anybody was worried about their own legal liability. Yes or no? I'm determining whether or not you're going to come on this show and tell me the truth or lie. And it's up to you.
I am sure that everyone that is taking the appropriate necessary steps that they have to legally, that is not something we talk about in the White House.
You don't know if any of your former friends are worried. You know what? I'll tell you something. Some of your former colleagues are worried. All right, we have to sneak in a break. Don't go anywhere.